Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good Friday morning, and we'll get a little sunshine today and a little bit maybe tomorrow and Sunday. Fairly warmer, all of that. So not a bad couple of days it has been. A little cooler, but we can live with it. Okay, Davey, get in there. Get on mic. I got to talk. We got to talk, man.
Did you say Good Friday morning?
Good Friday morning. Yeah.
Is Sunday Easter?
Sunday is Easter. Yeah. I don't know. This is a repeat broadcast.
No, it is not.
Davey,
People
Buffalo
love
Bills.
our best
Explain your point, and I want to explain mine on the Bills last night. Very disappointed, very frustrated you are.
Is my point going to be good or bad that I'm going to
Not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Keep it, though. Stick with it. Stay with it.
You're going to tell me that it's a good thing that they traded the 26th pick to the 28th to go to the Texans, and then the Bills traded it to New England. You're probably going to say, oh, Davey, they're probably going to stockpile on draft picks for the later in the draft.
Davey, you're disappointed. Here's what the Bills had. They had what they traded for and
More
they
picks.
end up with is really good. And actually every headline out there today is calling it brilliant and an A+. Because they get how many picks do they get today now?
Well,
they traded one and they got like 3 extra picks in addition to what they already have. And based on what they need, round 1 really wasn't all that appealing, they say, for the Buffalo Bills. There really wasn't that much what they were looking for. However, round 2, there is, and they just added 3 picks. So I do think it's a good move. Manansky.
Yeah, I see here in the deal, it looks like with the Titans, they get a second-round pick, number 35 overall, 69th overall.
Which is the first pick today in the second round. I mean, that's where they picked today.
They're the first pick today?
No.
And then the 2026 fifth-round pick, number 165 overall. So, yeah, I mean, they got additional picks. I guess obviously it matters who they select and how they fit into the scheme. Or the game plan
obviously
going
they
forward.
have to they have to make the best of this. But where's the let me go to
unless they thought somebody that they were targeting in the first round wasn't going to be there, and they slipped into the
whatever it is.
Second round.
The thought was that they weren't going to get what they really needed in round 1. So let's trade into round 2 and end up with more picks where there's more of what we're looking for. That's basically what.
It was either 2 guys that they were looking for. They were looking for a defensive back from Texas A&M, or they're looking at this wide receiver and last name of Boston.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what they do today. But the headlines that I was reading this morning, all saying this was the best move that they could have made, and giving them high grades on it. So we'll see what they do with it.
The one pick that I'm shocked about in this draft last night was the L.A. Rams, St. Louis Rams or L.A. Rams, taking Ty Simpson as high as 13.
Yeah.
That'd be an heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. Every report that I read had him projected late second to early third round.
Well, he went early.
So he really must have impressed the Rams brass to draft him 13.
Yeah, it all remains to be seen. That's the interesting thing about the draft. I mean, I'll tell you.
Well, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Josh Allen.
Danny Jones. He's the heir apparent. We've scouted him.
How many times do you have those top picks and they end up kind of just fizzling out? Happens. Okay. We have something to get to with Stefan, who's all over social media. I want to talk about that a little bit. Also, there is a big story today in the Daily Sentinel regarding win, and what it's saying. Read that. You have the headline right in there, Davey.
I have it. I'll go get it.
Read the win headline. Basically saying ambulance companies are saying that wait times are now at a breaking point. So we've had Win on talking about how improvements have been made. They've done everything they can to move things around and change their flow in order to speed up wait times for ambulances. But the ambulance companies are saying now it just has not gotten better, and they're at a breaking point. In fact, sounding the alarm is the headline in today's Sentinel. Ambulance wait times at Win have reached a critical breaking point, according to local EMS leaders. That's a biggie, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if it's possible to transfer care, essentially provide the ride and then bring them to the hospital. I think the issue for the ambulance companies is they can't get back on the road.
Well, they can't.
Call, right?
They can't unload their patient, so they're sitting, and the wait times are, and that's preventing them from getting back on the road to another call. Chief Scott Ingersoll, we've done a great job since the 1980s at teaching people to call 911 for everything, and I don't know if we've done a great job at maybe tempering some of that. And maybe that's part of the problem, where people are calling for ambulance 911 for everything, and you got to hang now. Find another way. Take an Uber, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to get too specific with these because it's healthcare, and I don't think we're going to get a ton of information, and I don't know what they can do. Again, if somebody you feel is abusing this, it's like when someone calls 911 and they're like outraged and they think they're in the right. I ordered a 6-piece McNugget and they only gave me 5, right? And people will call 911 for stuff like that.
Right, there's that abuse.
You can have
which is a crime.
Right, and I'm wondering if at some point where you have some maybe frequent flyers who are calling essentially for free rides or because they want attention.
Well, and I also think that you have mental health that's playing a role in this, where they just know they call 911, and you call 911 for everything, and maybe that's part of the issue.
Or maybe.
According to the Sentinel story, the problem, we go up there several times a day. This is Paul Taylor, president of AmCare Ambulance in Rome. We go up there several times a day, and I can tell you, for the situation at the hospital, we have had multiple incidents of our ambulance crews being held with emergency patients in the ER on our stretcher, and we can't offload the patients. We get to the hospital, and we're on the hospital grounds. We can't treat patients anymore legally. It is their patient, for the same reason that a nurse can't go out of the hospital and work in the field. So it's an issue that's got to be dealt with.
Yeah. It sounds like in the example he gave, though, that they have serious cases that aren't being treated where, on the flip side, what I was referencing was abuse.
Well, I think
there's,
system. On one hand, you're hearing from Ingersoll saying that there's a overuse of the system, which doesn't really need to be, when it doesn't really need to be used. And on the other hand, you have patients that need care that are sitting on a stretcher and they can't offload them. And I believe that technical term is, once you're offloaded, the ambulance can leave, I assume. Another thing today I wanted, and I should have hit this earlier, is the Michael Washington Jr. It is Michael, right? Michael Washington Jr. from Utica is expected to be picked in the second round of the draft. He's from Utica, and they had a meet and greet with him the other day. Pretty cool story here.
It really is. And Smitty, there's some kind of a watch party going on up at Turning Stone.
Turning Stone today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. Join us April 24th to celebrate Utica native Mike Washington Jr. as he chases his dream of going pros. Is at the New York Rec and Social Club. It starts at 7 o'clock. Draft celebration party.
That's pretty cool.
I might go up.
You might go up to that. Yeah, you can play like pool while you're waiting.
I was going to go on Wednesday, but...
All right, well, Davey, what's wrong? You seem really frustrated.
No, I'm just tired today.
You were up all night watching the draft.
No, I didn't sleep very well
You didn't sleep well.
because I pulled a muscle in my
There was
lower back.
a lower back muscle that was pulled. And since then, you've had pain.
Yeah.
Have you done this? Try to do that a little bit?
But
No?
It's kind of hard when you have to sleep when you try sleeping and the pain goes down your leg.
Well, that's like sciatica.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not fun.
Yeah, that's very uncomfortable.
You know, Jeff Manaski has an inversion table.
Nope.
He could bring in,
Okay.
and for those that might go back 14 years to that fateful first week of mine, I got on it, and boy, was that fun.
Yeah, I didn't mean to make the injury worse, but
Yeah.
it did help me by leaps and bounds when I used it.
And you know what? I know other people that use it all the time, but they say if you've injured your back, you might not want to use it.
If it's a fresh injury, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to that thing on Wednesday, but I had
What thing? Oh, the meet and greet with Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a prior engagement.
Okay. Okay. Right. You
And
want to talk about that engagement? How did it go? How did it go? He got to meet your significant other got to meet the family.
Well, she already met my sister and my brother.
Yeah, but now she met Mom.
Yes.
Yeah. That had to be something.
Well, my mom liked her. She
Good.
said she was a sweet girl, and
Yeah.
and her little fella is a sweet little boy.
Who's her little fella?
Her son.
Or son. Okay, I thought she was talking about you. My little fella's a sweet little boy, and he's now with a sweet little girl. I'm very happy about that. All right, now that we all understand, so deep breaths, get some energy in you, get a cup of coffee, let's go. It's Friday, man.
No
you
coffee.
gotta liven up here.
Just my back hurts. It hurts
That's all
when I
right.
walk.
That's all right. A little Advil here, medical marijuana, which is in the news again. We'll talk about that a little bit today. Today on the program, I am extremely excited and anticipating our conversation with Assemblyman Robert Smullen.
Who Anthony Constantino did a podcast interview with Giuliani last night.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Well, that had to be fun. I can only imagine.
I watched it.
Yeah. Did he say anything terrible about Smullen?
No, he just said Giuliani was just kissing his...
Yeah. Well, obviously, Constantino, in my opinion, wrongfully has been endorsed by both Giuliani and President Trump. I can't even believe it. And here's Smullen, who, by the way, really embraced Trump in this last year. And I really feel do you agree? I mean, I think he really embraced the Trump platform. He would not do any criticizing of Donald Trump.
Right.
Even when there were things that you probably could have said, yeah, I don't like it when he does this, but I'm a big supporter.
He wouldn't even go that far.
Wouldn't even go that far. And now Trump has selected his opponent as the endorsee. And boy, I'm quite surprised by it. So it'll be interesting to see how Robert Smullen reacts to that. Obviously, there's still a primary. They're still going at it. And I do have to tell you, I don't know of and this is fact. Now, it's anecdotal, but it's fact. I don't know of a single person who has messaged into this program, and I'm talking staunch Republican conservatives. I have not seen a single message, someone reaching out to us saying, I will vote for Constantino. Every message that I saw said, I don't care who endorses him. That guy's off the rails. I'm not voting for him. Do you agree?
Essentially, yeah. That's basically the messages that we're getting from local voters. I know only portions of that district, I guess, are... Well, part of it's Herkimer County, right?
Well, it's Rome and all of Herkimer County.
All of Herkimer County.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see. Politico actually has a report this morning talking about the New York Republican leadership questioning Trump's decision here. It gives some background on the two candidates. Smullen, a retired Marine colonel.
Smullen had everybody in his corner. Yeah, I don't want to say everybody. Clearly, not everybody. Not Trump, not Giuliani. But in terms of the counties, huge support.
This is via Politico. Smullen, a retired Marine colonel, has lined up the backing of Republican elected officials, county chairs, and state party leaders. Constantino, by contrast, has leaned on celebrity MAGA figures like Roger Stone and former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, both of whom Trump name-checked in his Truth Social post announcing the endorsement. This is from the New York State Conservative Party Chair Jerry Kasser. We're big supporters of the president. We just simply feel that on this one, he got it wrong.
This is very interesting to me because this is the national debate that's going on right now, right? You have hardline Republicans who are saying, President Trump, we think you're off on this. We support you, but we're not in the same camp here.
The state Conservative Party chair, who, by the way, is suing Constantino for defamation after the candidate alleged that the party leader threatened to kill him and attempted to murder a press aide, said that he talked up Smullen's candidacy to the White House in a bid to convince the president to back his candidate, that being Smullen. Those efforts obviously did not work.
I think it's a big mistake. Personally, I think Smullen is the best candidate in the race, and you're asking for trouble with Constantino. Everything is a three-ring circus. Everything is a three-ring circus.
Let's see here. The Clinton County Republican chair, Jerrica Manning. It's important for North Country voters and people within the district to select their candidates, and that's what primaries are for. And I think the overwhelming support by the majority of Republicans in this district has been for Assemblyman Smullen. Let's see here. Constantino, though, clapped back that they're disrespecting the wishes of the president. The president stands with citizens.
Yes, okay. Well, there you go. There's your battle. There's your primary battle.
Yeah.
And it is this very same question that's being asked around the country is how much weight do you put into an endorsement, and how much control does President Trump now, as he's going to be nearing his final few years in office, how much weight does he still carry in the Republican Party? We will see here.
There's a quote here as well from the Republican chair in Saratoga County. I think it's Joe Serrata. Quote, again, via Politico, that will probably mean just as much as the president's endorsement. What he's referring to is a possible endorsement by the current seat holder. In fact, I would think Elise Stefanik's endorsement would mean more for most people in the district.
Now,
that's interesting.
To me, that's the really big interesting question. Will Elise Stefanik defy the president?
There's no
that is
consequence that I'm aware of.
Well, I would still think there may be room for something for her to do, to be appointed to. He just endorsed her book. So
that's interesting.
think this will be very interesting. Or will she just remain silent? I agree. What Elise Stefanik says could play a big role. However, in the end, I still stand by, other than Trump's endorsements, and I think they are waning these days, other than what we've seen in the last few years with Trump, how much does an endorsement really mean? Have you ever changed your vote because somebody said, I'm voting for this person?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I think that's where we are. Okay, we'll talk to...
I do think a lot of the people who, though, are undecided can be influenced by that for sure. And Trump's endorsement used to mean an awful lot to his voters.
It used to. And I think it's the only one that I can really think of that... I mean, Joe Rogan played a role, didn't he, in the last presidential race? But President Trump is the only one that I think I can remember in years. And I would struggle to find anyone who's been more powerful than Trump when it comes to the endorsement especially in a primary in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't come up with one. Also this morning, we'll have Democratic candidate for 122. This is it Ehor? Ehor Samco we're going to speak with Ehor today. And then Steve Spurbeck was, and I believe is no longer with ERL Intermodal. He's with another company. As you know, he's down south. What is the price of diesel fuel doing to the trucking industry and the products, the products that we buy? That diesel fuel is up there, nearing that $6 mark. It's up there. Quick break, Davey, or can I keep going? All right, I'll take a break. I'll take a quickie. No, I can't take it. All right, I'm going to go to Willie. Otherwise, I need you to come in and reprogram this. Willie Waffle is used to be our movie reporter, movie theater reporter, entertainment reporter, and now there's just, the world has changed, and it's everything from streaming to movie theaters to who knows what. Willie Waffle, good morning.
Yeah, we're trying to do everything. It's impossible. Nobody can do it all.
It is impossible. You can't. It used to be so easy. Hey, I'll pick a couple of movies to watch, and the big ones this week, and we'll review them. Now there's just so much content out there.
Oh, there's tons. I mean, when I started doing this, there was one big movie a week. Then there were two big movies a week. Then there were like two big movies and maybe a minor movie. Then streaming came in. Now there's movies and streaming and everything's happening all at the same time.
It's driving you crazy.
It's too much.
All right, what do we know? Let's start with this, though. What do we know about this Paramount deal, and what will it mean for all of us as, you're trying to stream maybe a program on Paramount or one of the other ones? What happened?
Yeah, so what's going on? Paramount is basically buying Warner Brothers and taking it over, and they beat out Netflix in the deal, and so what's going to happen is Paramount's going to become a much bigger deal when it comes to the entertainment space. Not that they're a small deal now, but they are going to be one of the super top dogs in every aspect. So on the one hand, on the movie side, they have committed. There was the big festival last week, CinemaCon, if people are familiar with that, where all the different studios schmooze with the theater owners, and Paramount pledged that they are still going to release 15 movies every single year in theaters, which was a big deal because there was a thought that maybe they would start putting a lot of their efforts into Paramount Plus and whatever becomes of HBO Max. So that was a big deal. On the streaming side, they're taking over HBO Max. Now, how are they going to do that? Are they going to still call it HBO Max? Will it be folded into Paramount Plus? Will you have one streaming service? Will you have a streaming service and an add-on? People are trying to figure that out. How are they going to brand stuff?
Right.
I mean, we have shows like The Pit, which are branded as HBO Max. This fall they have the Harry Potter series coming out, which was an HBO Max series. So how are they going to brand that? I don't think they've made that clear yet. I think that right now they're trying to go through the regulatory phases. They're trying to get all the approvals on this so they can start making decisions, although some of those decisions will start emerging over the summer, I would think.
Yeah. This is an enormous deal.
Yeah, I mean it changes things in a big way. I mean you have a little bit less competition. You've got a lot of the unions in Hollywood are screaming about there's now less competition.
Yeah.
There's going to be worse pay for the people who are in the unions, and so they are going to be gearing up their fight in the regulatory realms.
And that is after we've had years of consolidation and merger on top of all of this. So, so if you take a look at where we are after this and go back 50 years, wow, has the world changed?
Oh, massively.
Yeah,
massively.
Yeah. Okay, and in theaters, you have two movies in theaters this week.
Well, we got one movie in theaters. It is It's the Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh, okay.
And and this is the one that the family is very, very involved in. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to focus in on the good times from Michael Jackson's life. Good times. The times when we liked Michael Jackson a lot more.
The good times for Michael Jackson were usually with Macaulay Culkin in bed telling nighttime stories.
Ooh.
Wow, that's just what was going on.
Well, and that's the problem I think this movie faces.
Yeah.
Is that we remember all these stories that have come out over the last several years, and all the questionable behavior and going to court on those charges. And this movie is trying to show the early Michael Jackson, that from the time of the Jackson 5 to going solo to being being the biggest artist in the world with Thriller, reuniting with the brothers and doing the Victory Tour, and then it kind of ends around the time that Bad comes out. So they're really trying to promote kind of those happier moments. It's a movie that needs depth. I will say that. It really plays like a highlight reel more than anything else. It's like, hey, you remember when they did this at Motown? Hey, you remember when he released this song? Hey, you remember this concert? It's more. It seems to be more concerned about showing that Jafar Jackson, who is Michael Jackson's nephew, can portray Michael, and he sounds like him and he dances like him, but you're looking for the story that will tie it all together, and they kind of make a bit of an attempt to make it a story about the struggle between Michael and his father Joe Jackson, who we know was not a good person, was not a good father. The way that he was treating the Jackson 5 and Michael and trying to control them all. But that doesn't really, I think, come across enough. There's just so many times during this movie where you really have to know the story to understand what they're trying to get at. But here's the thing that gets me. At the end of the movie, they put up a little tease. His story will continue. Wait, you're telling me you're going to try to tell the second part of the Michael Jackson story?
Oh, boy.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
That's the part that, I don't think his family can handle being honest with. They couldn't handle being honest with this movie. I'm at like 1.5 waffles.
Yeah.
It's more about the performances than anything else.
But you think the performance of the nephew is really good?
Yeah, I mean, he's not the greatest actor in the world. I'll give you that. But he can dance. That's for darn sure. Okay. And it's fun. It's fun to hear the Michael Jackson music. Just you for those of us who have seen the other side, it's hard not to think about it when you're watching this movie.
Mike, this morning, different topic. I just saw the Hulk Hogan documentary. What are your thoughts? He said it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check it out. I think I've just been a little shy to check it out because I think Hulk Hogan always changes his story over the years to try to make himself look bigger and better than he was. Not that he wasn't. I mean, Hulk Hogan's probably one of the most influential wrestlers in all of professional wrestling history. But it seems like every time I see a story, he's responsible for more and more things.
Right. Yeah. Let me ask you, because I know nothing about the wrestling world, but would you say The Rock rivals Hulk Hogan? Or, I mean, based on what he's done since wrestling, he certainly has done far more.
The Rock has done more as an entertainment personality.
Okay.
But The Rock's wrestling career was quite short, really, compared to Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was in the wrestling game for from the 70s, from the 70s up until very late, and primarily, he tried to go Hollywood and he had a Hollywood career, but he was always much more active in wrestling than I think The Rock was.
Let me ask you about Half Man, which is an HBO Max series that is now available.
Yeah, this is a tough series, folks, okay? Like, this is a very challenging series. It is not for the faint-hearted. It is from Richard Gadd, the guy who did Baby Reindeer, if you remember that Netflix series
and
years ago.
Is this the guy that was his story, right?
Well, that was the Baby Reindeer story was his story. Yeah. Now, this one is one that he has invented. He is the writer. He is a director. He is a producer. He is a star in this movie about these two guys played by Jamie Bell and by Richard Gadd, who were forced together by circumstance to kind of live together as brothers, and the very volatile relationship between them, but also kind of almost the protective relationship between them. So you see that Richard Gadd's character was basically in juvie. He's gotten out. He's the rough and tumble fighting guy. Jamie Bell's younger character is a more sensitive guy. He's picked on. He's bullied. but the two of them together, forge almost this alliance to try to help each other. It's an interesting movie. It's got a lot of violence. I'll warn you about that. It gets into a lot of discussions of sexuality and relationships. I mean, I'm at 3 waffles. It's solid.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you got to be ready. It's tough.
Well, when you say tough, I felt that the baby reindeer, if you watch that and then you realize he is the main character who wrote it, and he wrote it about himself, and he's playing in Baby Reindeer, right?
He was playing in that. Yeah,
that was shocking to begin with, so unique in itself. But then it takes a dark turn. So he's dark.
He does not shy away from the scary stuff, and you see that both in Baby Reindeer and here. And I will say, to his credit, this guy is a pretty darn good actor because he is nothing like he played in Baby Reindeer.
Right.
He's a completely unrecognizable figure here.
All right, Stranger Things, Tales from 85. What is this? What do you think?
Oh, God. This is like their chance to try to cash in.
This is animated. Oh, boy.
This is animated. Yeah, so it's animated. It's supposed to take place between seasons 2 and 3, back when we really loved the show. And it's the kids having an adventure we never knew about, don't you know? We never heard about this through all the other seasons that we had. And like they find there are these monsters that are wandering around Hawkins. They get this new kid who's the new character who we never hear about in any of the other parts of the series.
Yeah.
We've never known about, right? And they're chasing after these monsters, and it's just it has none of the original actors. They have this new character out of nowhere.
Money.
Yeah, money. It just really, it doesn't have the heart and soul, and it feels like it's way too soon since the end of Stranger Things to try to cash in now.
Yeah.
Like, why not do a reunion in a few years? I'm at like 1 waffle. It's really not very good.
And then I know there's a new ESPN Jeopardy that is coming out. That's going to be pretty interesting. And what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's going to be ESPN Jeopardy, but it's totally created for Disney Plus and Hulu. They're going to have ESPN personalities competing for charity, and it's going to be hosted by Joe Buck. So, in one sense, it seems like a really big promotional tool. Like, hey, we're going to bring all of our ESPN people on, and we're going to do a game show about sports. It's like, why not bring in other people too? But hey,
Right.
What do I know?
Okay. And then speaking of Jeopardy, I got to tell you, what a game last night. It's like, I swear I was actually, I felt like I was watching a Bills game yelling at the TV. This guy came in as a challenger, and he was neck and neck with Jamie Ding. They were both at around $11,000. And he gets the daily double. And he said, I'm betting it all.
Okay.
He gets it right. He's leading the longtime champion by over $10,000. And then two plays next, Jamie Ding gets the daily double. And in his awkward way, he's like, well, I guess I got to go with all in. A true daily double, and he gets it. Now you go into Final Jeopardy. The challenger bets everything and gets it wrong. Jamie Ding gets it right. Game over. He goes on to play again tonight. Willie, out of time. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
See you next week, man. Bye.
From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Holding all the cards, I'm CJ Papa, Fox News. President Trump believes he has the upper hand in the ongoing war with Iran.
They have all new leadership and they're fighting like cats and dogs for who's going to control.
The president believes Iran's leadership is in tatters as he continues to play the waiting game.
President Trump indicates he is not rushing to make a deal with Iran because he says infighting within the regime's leadership has complicated negotiating efforts. He says Iran is the one under pressure, arguing their infrastructure could crumble if they don't get their their oil moving soon. Iran's supreme leader now issuing a rare statement denying that Iran's regime has a rift. He says due to the strange unity created among compatriots, a fracture has occurred in the enemy. Cohesion has become even greater and more steel-like, and the enemies will become more wretched and diminished.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. A third aircraft carrier has arrived in the Strait of Hormuz. As the naval blockade continues, the Department of War will deliver an update on the conflict in the Middle East at 8 a.m. Eastern. War Secretary Pete Hegseth, along with America's top general Dan Kane, will be in the Pentagon press briefing room. And a U.S. soldier is accused of using inside information regarding the capture of a world leader to reap a huge windfall.
Gannon Ken Van Dyke is charged with violating the Commodity Exchange Act, wire fraud, and unlawful monetary transaction. Federal prosecutors say the 38-year-old active duty soldier in the U.S. Army was involved in the planning and execution of the operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. He's accused of opening an account on the prediction market site Polymarket in December, using classified information to bet more than $30,000 that Maduro would be out by January, allegedly winning more than $400,000. A rep for the FBI saying in a statement Van Dyke allegedly betrayed his fellow soldiers by utilizing classified information for his own financial gain. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I'd been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
They are surveying the damage this morning in the city of Enid, Oklahoma, after it was devastated by an enormous tornado.
We don't know how many are missing or if anybody's safe or not, so everyone needs to come together to pray for those families.
Fox 25 Oklahoma City's Rob Hagan.
There are power lines down everywhere. There are multiple power poles down, and of course the neighborhood is completely blacked out. Now we are right at the mouth of where the damage is. We've seen multiple emergency vehicles. They're combing through the debris, looking for people that may be injured. Now I have seen at least 12 ambulances and even more emergency vehicles combing all through these streets. Now we did come off of U.S. Highway 81 southbound and Southgate Drive, where the road has been blocked to the Air Force Base. That's where most of the emergency vehicles were headed.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt says he's speaking to local leaders, working with them as they assess the damage and identify needs. House Republicans are trying to come up with a compromise to pass the bill the Senate agreed to this week that would fund the Department of Homeland Security.
Some in the House GOP want to add in other items like aspects of the Save America Act. House Speaker Mike Johnson says funding just ICE and CBP has to be separate.
The Senate did what was expected. It has to be clean because it's got to be quick. That's the challenge. So we're going to socialize that with everybody, and then we're going to move right to reconciliation.
The Trump administration wants this reconciliation bill to fund parts of DHS passed by June 1st. Johnson says some of the other asks may be included in yet another reconciliation bill later this year. And he says they still need to take up the Senate's appropriation bill to fund the rest of Homeland Security as well. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
No surprise at the top of the NFL draft held in Pittsburgh. Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm CJ Papa, and this is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies, 48 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 7:05. This news update is brought to you by Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. A Rome man suffered serious injuries and is currently in critical but stable condition after a motorcycle crash that occurred in the town of Westmoreland. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office says they were called to State Route 233 in Westmoreland. Jasmine Ayala of Rome was operating a vehicle on that road, and while attempting to turn into a business, a Harley-Davidson motorcycle operated by Christopher Cefalia of Rome attempted to pass Jasmine on the left-hand side as she was turning left. Christopher struck Jasmine's driver's side door and was ejected from his motorcycle. He had to be airlifted to SUNY Upstate with severe leg, head, and abdominal injuries. Again, currently listed in critical but stable condition. Deputies say he was wearing his helmet at the time of the accident. Jasmine was taken to a local hospital as a precaution. Thus far, no tickets have been issued, and the incident is still under investigation. Meanwhile, state police releasing new information on that police chase that resulted in a fatal crash in Johnstown this week. Troopers say law enforcement tried to pull over 26-year-old Lexi Boringer for vehicle and traffic violations Wednesday, but she refused to stop, triggering a pursuit that ended when her vehicle slammed into a tractor-trailer on State Route 30A. Boringer passed away at the scene, was found to be in possession of a controlled substance. Police also say there was a smoking device with drug residue on it as well. Tomorrow is National Prescription Take-Back Day, and New Yorkers are having plenty of places to drop their their unwanted medications, I should say. It's happening from 10 until 2. Prescriptions can be dropped off at police stations or other collection sites. It's important to note that the locations will not accept syringes, liquids, or needles. To find your nearest drop-off location, just head to dea.gov/takebackday. A Roman facing charges after an investigation into the distribution of child sexual abuse material. Now, state police say they have arrested 27-year-old Logan Kelly. He faces a charge of promoting a sexual performance by a child. He was arraigned in Oneida County Cap Court. Bail set at $3,000 cash or $6,000 bond. Authorities also say that investigation is ongoing. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 6:08. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
A little cooler for us here today to finish the business week. Clouds this morning, but they'll break up and give way to sunshine. Low 60s this afternoon. Middle to upper 30s tonight. Clouds in Saturday with a chance of showers, even a few rumbles of thunder. Highs mid part of the 50s. Sunny Sunday, low 60s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies, 48 degrees at 7:09. Excuse me. In sports, the Giants pick up a linebacker and an offensive tackle, and the Jets were active as well. The Bills trade out of the first round. With the second overall pick last night, the Jets selected Texas Tech edge rusher David Bailey. The Green and White also drafted Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq 16th overall, and then traded back into the first round to take a wide receiver out of Indiana, Omar Cooper Jr., with the 30th overall pick. The Giants took Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese with the 5th pick, and Miami offensive tackle Francis Magoa, if I'm saying that correctly, with the 10th overall pick. The Buffalo Bills were scheduled to draft 26th. They made some trades to draft out of the first round, but have several selections coming up in round 2. NBA playoffs last night. The Knicks came up short, losing again by a single point to the Atlanta Hawks. Last night's final 109-108. The Knicks now trail in the series 2-1. It is a best of 7. Game 4 is coming up tomorrow in Atlanta. Baseball action. The Yankees sweep the Red Sox 4-2 your final at Fenway yesterday. Cam Schlittler got the win, shutting down the Sox, striking out 5 batters over 8 innings. Jazz Chisholm had a home run. It's his first of the season. The Yankees have won 6 straight. They head to Houston to take on the Astros in a 3-game series that begins tonight.
I can tell you didn't watch the Mets game.
I didn't. I do see that they
Mets were up 7-1. 7-1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this game is this is number 2 in a row. And switched over to Jeopardy and watched a little Jeopardy and screamed at the TV. And then I look at my phone and it's 7-7. I'm like, what? But the Mets won.
A grand slam in the 8th inning tied it for the Twins. The Mets did respond in the bottom of the 8th by scoring 3 more runs. The final was 10-8.
It was the first time I have seen this team come together as a rally as a team, like celebrate as a team. Kind of hard to celebrate when you've lost 12 in a row, right? But it was the first. I think it was an important win for the New York Mets.
I sure hope so. Brett Beatty had a 3-run homer. Bo Bichette drove in 3 as well. The Mets have now won back-to-back games. They host the Rockies for the start of a 3-game series at Citi Field coming up tonight.
All right, comments.
Hockey playoffs, real quick.
Okay.
The Buffalo.
Oh, the Sabres with a big win.
3-1 over Boston. The Hurricanes over the Senators 2-1. And the Avalanche doubled up the Kings 4-2.
Watched the end of that game as well last night. That was pretty exciting. And these Sabres are on fire right now. Interesting.
Let's go.
They were down 1-0 too in the game. Big Honey, hilarious when you group Josh Allen in with Tom Brady. I don't think that's out there because Tom Brady was not a top pick in the draft, and nor was Josh Allen, and both are extremely important or have been extremely important to their team. I do understand no one has accomplished what Josh Allen or what Tom Brady has accomplished. I can acknowledge that. But, who knows where Josh Allen goes?
Yeah.
You cannot compete with what Tom Brady did.
There's no question, but it is. We're getting to the point where it's Super Bowl appearance or bust. I mean, you could argue maybe the Bills were there last year, but
and maybe the big curse for the Buffalo Bills is that Super Bowl curse, and when they do get there, they lose.
At this point, though, you'd take the appearance, wouldn't you?
I would take the appearance.
Losing in the championship game in the second round.
I would take the appearance. Yeah. And then yesterday, Cindy, you rinse your mouth after a steroid inhaler to prevent thrush, which is a fungal infection. My doctor called it a yeast infection, which maybe was to really incentivize me to wash my mouth out with salt and water. I had RSV too, she says. Now using a steroid inhaler. The inhaler helps a lot. So, day one, I got my steroid yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't take it yet.
You have concerns?
I started to feel a little better. I started to improve a little bit. And I'm feeling better today.
This is the placebo effect. Bill hasn't inhaled from it, but it's in his pocket in case he needs it.
That's right. It's in my head. It's all in my mind. So if I don't have to take the medicine, I don't want to. The other part of it is it can make you hoarse, raspy voice, lose your voice a little bit. I would rather not take it on a Thursday night when I have to be to work Friday. I'd rather start it on a Friday and have the weekend.
Gotcha.
So there's where I'm at. We'll see if I take it. We'll find out Monday. I'd rather not take it, though. Who wants black hairy tongue? That's a thing, too. Look it up.
Oh.
That can come from like Claritin or something, or whatever you're on for a cold or sinuses. Black hairy tongue. Look it up. It's real. Are you adding something? After the black hairy tongue?
No.
Okay. Look that up, though. NFL draft began last night in Philadelphia. Roger Goodell with his very first pick. You want to hear it? Well, either way, it's coming. No, it isn't. I also have Ken Jennings talking about Jamie Ding.
I wanted to hear the clip with them playing the music.
I'll get it for you. Ken Jennings from Jeopardy on this. Jamie Ding beating his record. Do you know that Ding has won $849,603? Last night was his 30th win.
Wow.
Ken Jennings has won like 70. But I believe the second highest winner, in terms of money, certainly, maybe the top winner, was that James Holzhauer. Remember him?
Yeah.
He was a sports bettor, and he was doing really well. Ding is now 2 games from tying his record in 2019, which is 32.
Am I crazy, or did Holzhauer, was there some thought that he intentionally
lost? Actually, there's a thought that both Holzhauer and the host,
Ken Jennings,
they both threw their last game.
That's interesting.
Had just had enough and threw it. Who knows? I mean, can you imagine? Ken Jennings is a pretty smart guy. He might have been able to go and go and go and go. Sooner or later, it's got to end, doesn't it?
Yeah. So let me tie this in here. I'll get to the story that I'm, I guess, kind of alluding to here. You mentioned the sports betting. I wonder if part of the thought that they may have thrown their last appearance was that they bet against themselves and then wound up losing. I don't know that was available back then.
Well, it is now.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember
you
what
see
they call it
the story of the military guy that just got
U.S.
nailed.
Special Forces soldier allegedly made $400,000 by betting on the removal of Nicolas Maduro as Venezuela's president. He's now under arrest and facing charges. The Justice Department says the soldier participated in the planning and execution of that military operation to capture Maduro. He's said to have placed a wager in excess of $30,000 on Polymarket right before President Trump announced the operation was a success.
So he placed the bet after it actually happened.
He's said to have placed the wager in excess of $30,000 right before President Trump announced the operation.
Yeah,
but I would say even
if he placed the bet before the president announced, it was a few hours before we announced that the operation was successful. So we had time in there in between to place that bet.
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible? And that's where that would be illegal. Because I'm wondering, is it, everything that's going on, you do have some insider information, but you don't know if it's going to be successful. It could be a disaster if you bet before. That's a lot of money to bet before. And you're really confident you're going to go in there and you're going to get this guy. But if you bet after you've got him, you know that you know the end result.
Yeah, that's interesting too. And if you bet $30,000 and won $400,000, that's what 10. That's like 13 to 1. I'm almost surprised.
Yeah.
At
Interesting.
those odds. Yeah.
Davey wants to hear the announcement. This is the first pick last night in the NFL draft.
The first pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana.
I don't hear the music, Davey.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were going to play.
Well, can you for those who missed it, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Come on, it's ding, 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 something like that. Did I get it wrong?
You got it right.
Oh, I did. Okay. And then Ken Jennings. Is he angry? Is he bothered that Jamie Ding could possibly beat his record? I mean, he's got a long way to go.
He could care less.
Is that what Ken Jennings thinks? He could care less. All right, here's audio.
What will you do if Jamie goes beyond your lead?
I see. Like if he were to, say, hypothetically win game number 75, that would be a record that nobody's beaten for 20-odd years. I would be very excited, actually.
You're going to take your job?
Yes, that's what happens. If you had game number 75, a trapdoor opens beneath me. I'm, of course, perfectly impartial every game, but I actually believe that my record can be beaten, and I just hope I am hosting when it happens.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I love how he says, I'm absolutely perfectly impartial during
perfectly
every game.
impartial. All right, and then one more thing on all of this. I mean, can you just imagine how this show has grown since the death of Alex Trebek? I mean, it really has grown. You would have thought maybe it would have gone the other direction and failed, and it kind of started to when they had two hosts. Nonetheless, I watch this show a lot. So I don't know if you just saw, but there's a new medicine. So I take a medicine that for leukemia that prior to 2002, there was you did bone marrow transplants, you did chemotherapy and radiation, and you hoped for the best. Your chance of survival was usually somewhere between 3 and 5 years. With what I currently have, after they invented this medicine, which is a targeted oral chemotherapy. It targets the problem, which was the overproduction of white blood cells, and brings my levels down to the point where if I were to have a blood test today, which I had 2 last week, it's almost completely undetectable, the cancer, almost undetectable. And you live that way, and you can live a normal life. I don't know how normal mine will be, but normal. It depends on your definition. But this week they came out and announced that there are unbelievably positive results with a similar medication for pancreatic cancer.
No kidding.
Pancreatic cancer is one of the worst and most deadly cancers. We've seen deaths here, notable deaths here in the area with people with pancreatic cancer. Alex Carbone is one of those who died of pancreatic cancer. It's one of the most lethal. And this medicine blocks whatever it is, very much like the TKIs that I take. It blocks whatever it is that causes that cancer. And they say this could be the big game changer when it comes to pancreatic cancer in 2026. Pretty wild, right? Hopefully that is the case, because sadly, a lot of people pass before we've come up with a solution, but many more will go without it. And it would be incredible if this thing becomes as successful as what I take for chronic myeloid leukemia. All right, there we go. Robert Smullen. This is a big interview coming up. This is a biggie. I'm going to tell you, this guy has the support of everybody on the ground, except for a couple of notable people. And we'll get into it as Robert Smullen runs for Congress with a big primary coming up. Stand by. He is next on WIBX.
It's the Spring Sales event at Clinton Tractor. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment. And trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. It's Clinton Tractor Spring Sales event going on now. ClintonTractor.net.
Don't rely on a standard off-the-shelf security system. When it comes to protecting your home, there's a big difference between plug and play and a professionally designed system. At CML Security, security is personal. Their skilled technicians meet with you one-on-one, walk your property, and design a custom system built around your family's needs. From security cameras, intrusion systems, and smart home features, they can also add a level of fire protection to their intrusion systems. They install commercial-grade equipment and provide a warranty on systems that they install. Call CML Security at 315-866-5845 today to schedule your in-home consultation. That's 315-866-5845 or visit cmlsecurity.net. Based in Herkimer, they serve the central New York area. CML Security. Call 315-866-5845. Personalized protection your family can trust.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
Veterans, you and your family know all too well the many hardships that challenge your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. The Good News Foundation invites you to a free fellowship group of veterans. This get-together is run by retired Army Chief Warrant Officer 4 Richard Smith, the author of Camouflage Christian. Check out Veterans for Worship the third Wednesday of the month from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a U.S.-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, I want to tell you about bathrooms. And you probably have one in your house. Do you have one of those things in your home?
No, but we hope to get one
It'd
day.
be nice. It'd be nice. I mean, that outhouse is getting old. Got to paint it every year. Listen, you may have a bathroom that you're not necessarily in love with. You probably would be like, I don't want people to even use this bathroom because it's old. The pink tub, the pink sink, or, whatever.
Okay, you are talking about my bathroom.
Okay, I personally like those old-fashioned 1950s style bathrooms, but if you're ready for a new bathroom, New York Sash has you covered right now with a 20% deal. Right now, you can save 20%, and it's off a new bath designed for both style and function. It could be safety as well, installed in as little as 2 days. They're in, they're out, and they're out of your way, and you have a brand new bathroom. They actually have software where they can show you on a screen what it would look like in your house. It's right there. And financing is available for qualified buyers, including a limited time offer of no payments until 2027. If you have an old bathroom, that excludes the pink bathroom, probably with a tile inside. And
okay, Bill. Yeah,
I like that. I like that personally. But if you want to replace it, New York Sash is the call you should make and save right now 20%. 349 Oriskany Boulevard, Whitesboro, to start the process online at newyorksash.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right. I've really been anticipating this phone call through the week. Assemblyman Robert Smullen is running for Congress, and it's the seat currently held by Elise Stefanik. And the Assemblyman is on the line right now. A lot of news this week in this district, in this race. The primary coming up in June. Early voting will get underway. You'll have about 2 weeks to get in there and vote. Week and a half anyway. Before Election Day. Robert Smullen, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill. It's great to be on WIBX this fine morning in the Mohawk Valley.
All right, well, thank you so much. And, all right, well, let's start with I'm assuming you had advance warning that President Trump was going to endorse Constantino, your opponent.
Look, I have the utmost respect for President Trump, and I strongly support his America First agenda. Everyone knows that. Securing our border, rebuilding the economy, restoring strength. And, oh, by the way, I'm the only candidate in this race that was actually appointed by President Trump. And I'm going to continue to stand with him. And, yes, this happened, but it doesn't really change anything at all in this race. Nothing has changed.
Did President Trump make a mistake by endorsing Anthony Constantino?
Well, certainly I don't think he had all the facts. Anthony Constantino has more issues than anybody I've ever heard of. He registered as a Democrat in 2018. Now, this is about a Republican primary here,
yes.
Right, Bill?
Yep.
He registered as a Democrat in 2018, and then for some reason he had to re-register as a Democrat in 2022 during the Biden administration. And even before that, he supported Democrat Paul Tonko, who actually voted to impeach President Trump not once but twice. And, the fact is Anthony Constantino has never voted in a Republican primary. So, why is he running as a Republican? People really need to know. And, the fact is that he's trying to reinvent himself and buy a seat in Congress. But I think the voters are going to see right through that.
So I have, believe me, he has threatened to sue everybody, including me and us.
And me.
And
me too,
you,
Bill.
and you. I mean, this is like unbelievable. And everything is a three-ring circus with this guy. You can only imagine how bad it would be for the district if he were to get elected. That is my opinion, guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. Just clarifying that, Robert. So I have this question. Has Rozier, the Oneida County chair, endorsed you? And when you think about this, There's conflict between Rozier and Constantino, but now Constantino has been endorsed by Trump wannabe Ken Rozier. So has he endorsed you yet officially?
So 12 of the 15 Republican committees in the 21st Congressional District have endorsed me by overwhelming margins. So those committees that have brought this to a vote, 12 of the 15 committees, they have voted overwhelmingly to endorse me. And those members carried my petitions. Over 700 volunteers got almost 9,000 Republican signatures. Now, the three counties that haven't endorsed is Saratoga, Montgomery, and Oneida County. And, of course, I'm always asking and wanting the endorsements. But I know for a fact that in Oneida County, many of the committee members in the 21st Congressional District actually carried my petitions. And I'm very grateful to those members who actually went out and knocked on doors, because I actually represent part of Oneida County right now.
Yeah.
4 towns. I used to represent more in my 118th Assembly District role. But we've got great support in Oneida County, so I'm not worried about that.
And listen, I'm with you on this. I have been publicly with you. It's not like I'm hiding that. I have to say that we have many conservative Republican listeners who are very vocal. Trust me, I never worry about them telling me what they think. And I want you to know that since the endorsement, every single and Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think a single person has said, well, with President Trump endorsing Constantino, I'm voting Constantino. Everyone has basically said, I don't care who endorses Constantino, he's off the rails, I'm voting for Smullen. Every single person. With no exclusion. And Jeff, am I correct?
Yeah, I do. I have not seen, I do not remember seeing one.
Not one. So just so you know, we understand what's going on here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And these are what I call facts on the ground. And I'm deeply grateful to all of the local officials, to all of the local business people, to everybody in Oneida County and Herkimer County and Lewis County that are within earshot of your radio, that the support that I'm getting on the ground is from real people. And this is from people that live in the district. And I encourage all local officials, because we're at that stage now of the campaign, those who have endorsed me, I've got over 100 local officials endorsing me at this point, is to go ahead and encourage your friends, your neighbors, your family, all the people in your communities to vote for the conservative Republican in this race. This is a Republican primary. Everybody's got to realize that. And right now, I'm going to be on the ballot in November on the conservative line. It's very apparent that the momentum that I'm picked up. In fact, the poll that I had shows me ahead of my opponent and pulling away. So I'm really ready to get everybody out there and to really support me, because I'm the person that's going to be the servant leader for this district, for all the people in this district. But I'm running as a conservative Republican, and I encourage all the people that are Republicans to get out there and vote in this primary and vote for Robert Smullen.
Manaski.
I'm glad you mentioned the conservative endorsement, because regardless of what happens in the Republican primary, you will have a spot on the, the ballot in
I would
November.
ask on that. Will you stay on the ballot and continue to actively campaign if you lose the primary?
So, look, we are very confident at this point, Bill. There is no way that I'm going to lose this Republican primary. And the facts show that, because I'm on the conservative line, that I'm very solid in that. And the numbers, the polling shows that the support that I'm getting on the ground. So we're going to win this thing. Everybody knows that. Everybody that's helping me, I want to thank all of them. For everybody that got petition signatures, everybody that signed my petition, everybody that's out there campaigning. This is going as good as it could possibly be. I'm looking forward.
But I would say conservatives would like to know if their vote is they're going to be able to cast their vote for the person that they want to be on the ticket. So will you, if it did happen, and I realize it's a long shot, but if it did, and you did not win by a vote or 2 votes or whatever, 100 votes, if you did not win the Republican primary, will you actively campaign as a conservative?
I'm on the ballot as a conservative, Bill. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess reading between the lines, that is a yes, although he didn't explicitly say it. Have you reached out to current Congresswoman Elise Stefanik for an endorsement, and do you expect her to endorse either one of you?
I don't expect her to get involved in this. I have great respect for the Congresswoman Stefanik. She's just recently launched her book tour, and she's out there, talking about the effects and the efforts that she's done to clean up our higher education system. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. I'm the ranking member in the New York State Assembly on the Higher Education Committee. So, the Congresswoman Stefanik's efforts out there are very much greatly appreciated, and she's absolutely got big shoes to fill. And I look forward to winning this Republican primary in June to fill those shoes. This is what's really important.
Can I follow up with that? Just what I want to go back to a couple of questions ago on the Constantino thing. What I do not understand is it is Constantino that turned this into a 3-ring circus when Elise Stefanik was being nominated to be ambassador to the United Nations. And it's Constantino that turned this into a circus atmosphere to the point where the White House said, we don't know what's going to happen. It's chaos up there in upstate New York. We're just going to keep Elise Stefanik there, and she gets screwed because of it. I still am baffled at how President Trump can endorse this guy after all of what happened during that fiasco.
Well, it's clear that Anthony Constantino is unfit to serve in Congress. His temperament, his behavior, his actions. He's had multiple tax liens across multiple states. He's had an FEC allegation put against him about his campaign practices. He's made false and conspiratorial claims when he's under scrutiny about me. And, his company itself, he's laid off American workers while he's installing robots to replace them. I don't think that it's okay that he can try to buy a seat in Congress. He's spent almost $4 million at this point. I've spent less than a couple $100,000, and we're actually in the lead in pulling away. And he's been supported by people that are really out there. And when people know and understand this and what's going on with him and his company, defunding and weakening the police messaging, profiting from that, calls to end police unions, it's not leadership. This is opportunism.
Menesky.
I want to ask about the backing of Giuliani and Roger Stone. That's commonly referred to in articles that talk about President Trump's endorsement of your opponent. Did you have any conversations with the Giuliani camp, I'll say, or Roger Stone's people before this happened, and were you surprised by that?
No, Roger Stone is my opponent's paid political consultant. And no, I didn't have any conversations with Mayor Giuliani. I respect all that he did after 9/11, and that's that.
I don't want to. I want to be fair here, but I don't know why I can't get this out of my mind. And you just referenced paid political consultant. I feel like there's. Were these endorsements up for sale? Did anybody approach you? Do you think you could have bought these endorsements? Literally bought these endorsements?
Why would I possibly want to buy an endorsement? I have real
fair.
people on the ground. Real people. This is the New York GOP has endorsed me as supporting me. The New York State Conservative Party has endorsed me and supported me. Labor unions have supported me. The Teamsters are supporting me. The New York State Troopers PBA is supporting me. That's law enforcement.
Yeah.
I've got the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. That's a Second Amendment organization with thousands of members across New York State is supporting me. I have real people supporting me, and it shows. During the last elections that I've been in 2020, 22, 24, I've been the top vote getter in the New York State Assembly having to do with performance on the ballot in the Mohawk Valley amongst real people. So that's what I'm concerned on. I don't have to buy my support. I'm asking people, look, I'm your servant leader. Pick me to represent you in Washington, D.C. I will take our voice and our values to Washington, D.C. People know that. They're not going to be fooled by this.
I think the question more was, do you think that he bought Trump's endorsement, that through donations he bought Giuliani's endorsement?
I don't know any of that.
Okay.
But
fair enough.
What do I know is I know what happens with me.
Yes.
I'm not wavering in my support for President Trump or the America First movement. I'm all about results. I'm the Trump Republican. My opponent is not.
I want to ask you, if I can, about a comment that you made calling Constantino sick and depraved, and it's about his business. And some of the stickers, I mean, I get it. He's saying, I'll sell a sticker to anybody who'll buy one. But anybody?
No.
There is a sticker, and it's being circulated, basically showing a mockery of a Hasidic Jew, pointing, saying the Jews did this. Very anti-Semitic, in my opinion. And your thoughts about that?
That's absolutely hate speech. The anti-Semitic movement in New York State has picked up significantly. New York is home to over 1 million people that are Jewish. They are very important to our state. I've been a leader in preventing anti-Semitism on our college campuses in New York State in my role in the Higher Education Committee. And when a company prints and sells stickers, they are participating and profiting off of that. And that's simply wrong. And it is something that needs to be stopped. It needs to be pointed out. And that's my opponent's company. And whether you say you can hide behind the First Amendment and say, well, it's free speech, it's somebody else's stickers. No. When you profit directly from that, that is wrong and it should be fixed. And it just shows, like I said, his temperament. And there's a lot more like that out there. Just because you say that someone else has control over this on a website, if it's your website and you're profiting from it, you're responsible for it.
Yeah, it's your name.
Can I ask you, in talking about that, you said that it needs to be stopped and that it needs to be fixed. What do you mean by that?
Well, in fact, they've all been taken down. So there's something wrong when you take it down and you have to scrub your website from with these things. So, and this is something that pressure needs to be applied. There are a lot of organizations that fight and defend this. One of them is called Stop Anti-Semitism. And it's out there actually, making public statements saying that this company should stop these practices. And I agree with them.
All right. We've gone a little extra, and we do appreciate that. And I know these are, I've never heard you so fired up as you are today. And I apologize for some of the questions, but I think these are questions that have to be asked. And I appreciate the fact that you're willing to listen and answer them.
That's it. I'm a public official. I enjoy serving the people. I am the servant leader for this district. I will be the servant leader for the 21st Congressional District. And I'm confident with the people's help, the people that are listening to your show, that I will win this primary on June 23rd and be elected to Congress.
Robert Smullen, we'll do it again. I do appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Bill. Appreciate being on your show.
All right. Thank you so much. Assemblyman Robert Smullen running for Congress in the Republican primary, which is coming up just a month and a half away.
A couple of comments here, and this continues the theme that you mentioned at the top of the interview. Trump should be ashamed for endorsing the sticker fool. That's from Dave in Inlet. Excuse me. Matt in Holland Batten says, I wonder if Constantino is buying endorsements.
And, that was your question, and I think he misinterpreted the question.
Well, I think he referred to something, though, that might legally, I don't want to say conceal, but essentially, if Roger Stone's a paid consultant, I mean, is he actually consulting, or is this so that at some point he comes out and says...
based on our interviews with him, I think Roger Stone has been an advisor to him.
On the campaign?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They long before, at the very beginning, Stone has been with him since the begining.
I find that interesting.
And that's that he has talked about in interviews. As long as what he's saying to us is true, and I believe it is in this case. But yeah, I think he's whether it's Trump. I don't think Trump has been with him all the way because of the Stefanik fiasco that occurred. But definitely Roger Stone has been there and has advised him and given him. So I think he's an authentic political advisor. And, of course, the political advisor is going to endorse.
And I have to note this as well. I did not expect, and you should not expect, that Robert Smullen would lash out at the president or anybody for not getting their endorsement. But I do note that again, I believe your question was along the lines of, was the president wrong? Did he make the wrong choice here? And he will say things like, well, I think the president doesn't have all the facts.
Yeah,
I mean, it's okay to say, yes, I think the president is wrong here. He picked the wrong guy.
Yeah, I wish you would say that. In this case,
I agree.
Of course I think it's wrong. He didn't pick me. Of course I think that's a wrong decision. I mean, that question should be answered. And then the other question that I think angered him a little bit, and I pushed because I have to, is, are you going to stay on the ballot? You'll stay on the ballot, but are you going to actively campaign? And I think we got the answer
without him actually
actually saying the answer.
Gail also says one more. Choosing a candidate who is incompetent and unqualified for the job has not stopped this president up to this point. So another person saying, I don't care what Trump says. I don't think this is the guy for the district.
All right, we're doing Hobica's free money question of the day. Then Steve Spurbeck is coming right up. Davey, for the question, it's worth a whopping what today on this beautiful Friday?
$300.
Wow. Oh, boy. $300 on the line, says Davey, and you're looking for caller number, let's make it 10.
Okay.
I swear to God. What do you want, 2.5?
No.
10. Caller 10. Come on, man. 315-736-0186. Caller 10. And you'll also qualify to win Jim Brewer tickets Sunday night at the Stanley Theater. It's a 1 in 5 chance. We'll draw in the 8 o'clock hour to see who wins that. So caller 10 right now, 315-736-0186. The Good Feet Store. If you're having pain, there is a way to make that pain go away. And somebody we're talking to, and Steve Spurbeck coming up in a second, is one who has used the Good Feet Store because he was having difficulties with pain, whether it be in the hips or the knees or the back. Oftentimes it can stem from the way you're walking. Enter the Good Feet Store. 3-step system. You don't even know you're working at it, but you are. It's inserts that go in your shoes. Visit the Good Feet Store today. 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors, available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls in Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
Don't overpay for your next mattress. Mattress Express is upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. Bring in any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, this morning, like every morning, we give you a chance to win money. Today, it's as Davey says, $100 on the line. And Jim Brewer tickets for Sunday night. That's at the Stanley Theater. Go to the Stanley box office or Ticketmaster.com for your tickets. Billy is in Utica, ready to play Hobica's free money question. It comes from Joseph and Andrew Hobica. For your legal needs, call the Hobica Law Firm at 315-724-1600. Billy, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
I am.
All right. This is going to be a movie question.
All right.
You don't seem to like that. No?
Yeah, I do.
All right, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot.
I fall asleep in them and everything.
Trust me. I understand. I can relate. All right, here is your question. What was Warner Brothers' code name for The Dark Knight during pre-production? Ready, go. Gotham. They would call it Gotham. Yeah, this is a tough question. Rory's first kiss. So whenever they referred to Rory's first kiss, they were talking about The Dark Knight. Now, why? Because it was such a top-secret production. They didn't want anybody to know what was going on. No spoilers.
Really?
So they would call it Rory's First Kiss. That's what the movie was called. It could have been that title, but they went with The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the unfairest questions you have
That
ever
is
asked.
very difficult.
There was no chance anybody listening to this was getting that answer.
You're right. You're right. Billy, should we give you another shot?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, of course you're going to say that. All right. So I'm going to reduce it to $150 for $150. We're giving you another shot. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Name the U.S. state that is best known for its factories that make pretzels. Ready, go.
Pennsylvania.
You're going to go with Pennsylvania. Why would you pick Pennsylvania? Well, because it's the correct answer.
That's why.
Well, there you go, Billy. You owe Jeff Manaski a big thank you.
$50 will do it. $50 will do it.
We get $150. That's two winners in a row. Although Hobica will say, not really. You had a loser in between. His name was Billy. You should have left it that way. Billy, you get $150. And on top of that, you're in the running for Sunday night's tickets to see Jim Brewer. All right?
Awesome, yeah.
Nice job, Billy. Thank you.
Don't worry about who calls you a loser in between. Just make sure they spell your last name right on that check.
That is right. Very important. All right, hold on tight, Billy. Thank you. Let me go to Steve Spurbeck, who's on the line right now. Did you know either of those answers, Steve?
I knew Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, yeah. I thought that was a pretty easy question. Yeah. I'm sure I'll hear from Hobica about that. Okay, Steve. Now you've been in the trucking business for a long time, and it plays such an enormous role in everything we consume, everything we buy, and of course we've talked to you about tariffs, and I think your biggest complaint back when that was all going on, it seems so long ago, but it really wasn't. But the biggest complaint I think you had was just pick something and stick with it so we know what we're dealing with, right?
Yeah, I mean, all last year, manufacturers didn't have enough. 1 week it's 50%, next week it's going to be 100% tariff. So nobody had enough information to say, okay, I'm going to bring in, all this inventory.
Yeah.
They were just getting the bare minimum they needed.
Right,
but, I mean, now a war on top of that throws everything into a monkey wrench.
How difficult has it been with diesel fuel?
It's challenging. I mean, it's been back in end of January, February, beginning of February, price per gallon was $3.60 a gallon. Now it's $5.80 a gallon.
Yeah,
so like ERL and Utica, they go through about 9,000 gallons a week. Back in February, that was $33,000 in fuel. Now it's $54,000.
Yeah, that's a big jump that you didn't plan for.
That's a big jump, and most rates for trucking companies are set you can't negotiate that. They're set for a year. The only thing you have is a fuel surcharge, which you can, some companies have all-in rates. Some have a base rate plus fuel surcharge. Fuel surcharge right now is 60%.
Wow.
So you got a load for $1,000. You're paying another $600 on top of that $1,000 to get it delivered.
Yeah, and ultimately, we're going to see the consumer's going to pay for that ultimately.
Oh, definitely. That's being passed now. I mean, you go to the grocery store, milk is already $1 a gallon more, which I'm all for paying what I need to pay for the milk as long as it's going to the farmers. But
It's not. Yeah.
So, but it's being passed through. I mean, Walmart's not going to take the hit on it. Imagine what Walmart's fleet. They got 5,000-6,000 trucks running all over this country.
Yeah.
And they're going to pass that along. So it's once again, the consumer, as long as trucking companies, trucking companies are going out of business every day now.
Mm-hmm.
Long-standing trucking companies that have been in business for 75 years are just packing it up and, they're done. So it's challenging. Plus, we're on the fourth year of a freight recession. So rates have been in the toilet for the last 4 years on top of everything. So it's a challenging business, but the strong survive at the end. And you just have to make decisions. Basically, you come down to, am I going to buy new trucks this year, or can I go another year or two with what I have? So that's eventually going to hurt Tom Highland at Utica Mac. It's a ripple down effect all through the economy. So,
Steve, I'm curious. You talked about the freight recession. You talked about trucking companies closing down. We aren't consuming less as a society. So how will all that stuff be transported?
Well, first of all, there was overcapacity in the market. So a lot of these trucking companies they're being absorbed through other trucking companies. So once the freight picks up, it'll be better for the people that are left. So everybody, all these trucking companies appeared on the scene after COVID because honestly, you could name your rate and money was flowing and times were good. So all these trucking companies popped up on the scene because there was more freight than we knew what to do with. It's just habits are changing. It's just, we're becoming a warehousing society, not a manufacturing society.
Wow.
Well,
and listen, to be completely fair, what the president would say is this is a little tough, but it's a small price to pay to prevent the Iranians from getting a nuclear weapon. The question is going to be, when this is all said and done, are we in a better place? Are we in the same place with Iran, or worse? And I don't know the answer to that has really risen to the top, floated to the top as of yet. So it remains to be seen, unfortunately.
I would just invest in oil companies because they're the only ones making money right now.
They're the ones making money. Yep. All right. Fair enough. Steve, and I mentioned the Good Feet store because you have had great success with those inserts.
Good Feet store saved my life. I had plantar fasciitis. My hip would give out. My back would hurt. I went from hardly being able to get out of bed to after going to the Good Feet store within a week, I feel like I could run a marathon now. I still use the lifts. They're just saved my life. I feel like $1 million since I've gotten them. So they're worth the investment, and they're lifetime implants. So you never have to go like Dr. Scholl's will wear out after a month.
Right.
These are good forever, and I tell you, it's been a life changer for me.
All right, Steve, that's a big one right there, and that's from somebody who's not being paid to say anything. It's just a personal experience. So, Steve, we appreciate it. Thank you for the insight, and have a great weekend, and good luck out there.
Okay, everybody stay safe up in Utica.
All right, thank you so much. Steve Spurbeck, good man, helped us out a lot over the years for charity.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
No rush for peace, Gianna Gelosi, Fox News. President Trump says he's not going to be pressured into making a fast deal with Iran.
With a ceasefire in place indefinitely, President Trump says he's in no rush to permanently end the conflict with Iran or force a bad deal.
I don't want to rush it. I want to take my time. We have plenty of time, and I want to get a great deal. I want to get a deal where our nation and the world is safe.
That deal, he says, must be everlasting, ending any chance of Iran acquiring a nuclear weapon. Still, with the Strait of Hormuz closed and a U.S. naval blockade of Iran enforced, President Trump concedes Americans will pay higher gas prices for a little while. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Meanwhile, CENTCOM says the U.S. Navy now has 3 aircraft carriers in the Middle East. The USS George H.W. Bush carrier arrived in the Indian Ocean. This is the first time 3 aircraft carriers have been in the region since 2003, leading up to the Iraq invasion. Meantime, a new Fox News poll asked voters how they feel about the ongoing conflict in Iran.
Support for the war in Iran has grown to 45% now, from 42% in March. Has the action made America safer? 36% say yes, while 39% say it has made America less safe. A majority of voters, 57%, say they don't believe the effort to keep America safe justifies the pain of higher prices here at home, while 43% say the rising cost will be worth it in the long run. When it comes to Israel, 40% say the U.S. is too supportive. Another 40% think the support is just about right. 19% think the U.S. could do more for Israel. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
And President Trump says Israel and Lebanon have agreed to extend a ceasefire by 3 weeks, as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced he had prostate cancer that responded to treatment. America's listening to Fox News.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I'd been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
A tornado ripping through northern Oklahoma Thursday evening.
This one started forming, and it really touched down, and we watched it just go across and towards northeast from the base.
At least 10 people were hurt. Fox's Chris DeMeo.
A powerful tornado ripped roofs off buildings and sent emergency crews rushing to nearby Vance Air Force Base. The tornado happening in the city of Enid. This is a volunteer at a local shelter.
A lot of people out in Gray Ridge, their homes are leveled. So we don't know how many are missing or if anybody's safe or not. So everyone needs to come together to pray for those families.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt says he's working with local leaders to assess damage and to ensure all personnel are safe and accounted for. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
2 teens arrested for an alleged plot to attack a Texas synagogue. Fox's Chanley Painter.
According to the police, the alleged plot involved driving through the congregation to, quote, kill as many Jews as possible. And now an 18-year-old in North Carolina and a 16-year-old juvenile in Texas have been arrested, according to police. The 18-year-old Angela Han Hicks is now being held under a $10 million bond after being arrested Wednesday and charged with conspiring to commit murder and assault against members of Congregation Beth Israel in Houston, planned for April 21st, 2028. According to the FBI, quote, the FBI Charlotte Joint Terrorism Task Force began the investigation Tuesday evening after a tip to a North Carolina law enforcement agency.
Now, prosecutors say the initial attack had been planned for 2028, though the arrests were made given an imminent concern. And 5 people are in custody following a deadly shootout inside the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. A high school senior was killed. 5 other people were hurt. Officials say 2 rival groups began firing at each other in the heat of an argument in the food court. Police are still looking for any additional suspects. I'm Gianna Gelosi. This is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies, 48 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 8:05. This news update brought to you by Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. A Rome man suffering serious injuries, currently in critical but stable condition after a motor vehicle accident on Route 233 in Westmoreland. Now, the Oneida County Sheriff's Office says Jasmine Ayala of Rome was traveling on 233 and was trying to make a left into a business parking lot there. And deputies say that a motorcycle operated by Christopher Cefalia of Rome was attempting to pass Jasmine on the left-hand side as she was trying to turn left. The two vehicles collided. Christopher was ejected from his motorcycle. He had to be airlifted to SUNY Upstate with a severe leg, head, and abdominal injury. Currently in critical but stable condition. The accident is still under investigation. Meanwhile, state police releasing new information about that police chase that resulted in a fatal crash in Johnstown this week. Troopers say law enforcement tried to pull over 26-year-old Lexi Boringer over vehicle and traffic violations on Wednesday, but she refused to stop, triggering a pursuit that ended when her vehicle slammed into a tractor-trailer on State Route 30A. Boringer passed away at the scene. Authorities say she was found to be in possession of a controlled substance and also had a smoking device with drug residue on it. Tomorrow is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, and New Yorkers have plenty of places to drop off their unwanted meds. From 10 until 2 tomorrow, prescriptions can be dropped off at police stations or other collection sites. It's important to note that those locations will not be accepting syringes, liquids, or needles. To find the nearest drop-off spot near you, just head to dea.gov/takeback-day. And a Rome man facing charges after state police were investigating the distribution of child sexual abuse material. State police have charged 27-year-old Logan Kelly with promoting a sexual performance by a child. He was arraigned at Oneida County Cap Court. Bail was set at $3,000 cash and $6,000 bond. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time is 8:08. Your forecast brought to you by CSEA. Behind every traffic cone is a worker doing a job with a family waiting at home. Slow down, put the phone down, and move over safely.
A little cooler for us here today to finish the business week. Clouds this morning, but they'll break up and give way to sunshine. Low 60s this afternoon. Middle to upper 30s tonight. Clouds in Saturday with a chance of showers, even a few rumbles of thunder. Highs mid part of the 50s. Sunny Sunday, low 60s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, 48 degrees at 8:08. From the IBEW 43 local sports desk, the Jets and Giants completing round one of the NFL draft last night. With the second overall pick, the Jets took Texas Tech edge rusher David Bailey. The Jets also drafting Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq 16th overall, and they traded back in the first round to take Indiana wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr. with the 30th overall pick. The Bills made a trade. They're switched out of the first round into the second round. Buffalo will have a second-round pick, a third-round pick, 3 fourth-rounders, and 2 fifth-rounders as the draft continues today. And the Giants taking Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese with the 5th pick, and Miami offensive tackle Francis Magoa with the 10th pick. NBA action last night in the playoffs. The Knicks come up short again. 109-108, another 1-point loss to the Atlanta Hawks in what was Game 3. OG Anunoby led all scorers with 29 points. Now the Knicks trail the best-of-7 series 2-1. They will stay in Atlanta and play Game 4 there coming up tomorrow. Baseball action. The Yankees sweep the Red Sox 4-2 your final on Thursday. Cam Schlittler got the win. Jazz Chisholm went deep, his first of the year. The Yankees have won 6 straight. They head to Houston to take on the Astros for a 3-game series that starts tonight. The Mets getting back-to-back wins. It was ugly, though. They led 7-1. Next thing you know, in the 8th inning, it was 7-7. The Mets did rally for 3 in the bottom of the 8th. They take a 10-8 victory and win the series, as Thursday was the rubber match between the two teams. Bo Bichette had 3 RBIs, and Brett Beatty had a 3-run homer. The Mets have won 2 straight after that 12-game losing streak. They are in Citi Field tonight hosting the Colorado Rockies for the start of a 3-game series. And in hockey, the Buffalo Sabres get a win. They lead the Bruins 2-1. Also last night, the Hurricanes over the Senators, and the Avalanche beat the Kings. Sorry.
Okay.
There we go.
So on the Bills, I know Davey was a little worried. Here's one headline: Syracuse.com. The Bills just aced the first round of the NFL draft without making a single pick. So again, let's see what everybody says when it's all said and done. But right now, they put themselves in a pretty good position. A couple things to talk about. We're going to get into. We have a candidate for NY 122 coming up in a second. Also, Alex Carbone is in later in the hour. And a whole bunch to talk about with this Smullen versus Constantino, the president endorsing Constantino. We had Smullen on earlier. Interesting conversation. And I wanted to talk about, you might be seeing it in your Facebook feed, Stefan.
Oh, yeah, we got to get into this.
So yesterday, Stefan was in Oriskany, went with a friend, Joe, and while he went to Eastern Star, Stefan was waiting at Cliffs there in Oriskany.
So I know a little bit about this based on the conversation we had, just to clean that up a bit. So apparently Joe and Stefan went to lunch. Joe was going to go visit somebody and said, while I go do that, I still have Stefan. Yeah. I'm going to drop him off at Cliffs.
Mm-hmm. You can take the bus home or wait for me.
I'm going to go down the road, visit or whatever appointment, and then I'll pick you up on my way back.
Yes.
Okay.
So at some point, Stefan said hi to what is believed to be. He told me last night. I just said hi. I didn't know if she was a college girl or a high school girl. I had no idea. I just said hi in the store, and then it came out, and that's when the mother of the student, and it turned out I believe it was a high school student, came out and started screaming at Stefan. I know who you are. I know what you do. Do not talk to my daughter. Whatever you do. Here she speaks about it in a Facebook post and actually put up a picture of Stefan from like 20 years ago when he had gotten arrested. You know, he's had some issues, but did he do anything wrong yesterday? And his face is plastered all over Facebook now. Stefan has his own struggles and hopefully gets himself help, she says. He is currently known to harass younger girls, follow them to their games. I just picked our teenage daughter up, not feeling well from school. And then Stefan walked out and stood at the front door and waited for our teenage daughter to come out. The fact is that Stefan came out of the store and he was waiting for his friend Joe, who was coming to pick him up. And Joe has verified that part of the story. I don't think in this case, listen, when he does something wrong, we're the first to call him back and be like, Stefan, you can't do this stuff. But in this case, I don't think he did anything wrong. And he was now waiting for the girl to come out. He was waiting for his ride to show up. He'd been waiting there, and he continued to wait there. And they called the police, turned it into a big thing, put it up on Facebook, basically calling him a pervert. And I just think it's unfair in this case.
Stefan walked out and stood at the front door, waited for our teenage daughter. I saw him get ready and was getting out of car to go in with her to make sure he didn't. But she beat me to the exit, and as soon as she walked out, he started to try to engage her. He didn't get much talk time because
he said hi in the store but did not say anything outside. I don't know if that's true either, but again.
She says, I was right there to intervene and lost my bleep, but he tried. I let the Cliff staff know and will call police next time to give a heads up.
911 was called. The store clerk said he had to leave. I mean, it just turned into something. I feel like I understand. Listen, no one is more than you and I when it comes to protecting children. But I feel like this situation could have been, Stefan, leave her alone, and ended right there. Instead, it's turned into this huge thing on Facebook, and I think that in itself is inappropriate and unfair to him.
Yeah, so I don't. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. I just don't know. But this is all over the place here. And,
I wasn't there either.
I think it makes it look like he was trying to do something, and I don't know that there's anything that demonstrates that.
It makes it look like he did do something when he didn't. And I heard more people messaging me last night saying, Stefan's up to it again. He's done it again. He needs to be, that's just, to me, unfair. Actually, can we take a minute to talk to Joe? Joe Joe does a lot to help Stefan.
Yeah, he gives him a lot of rides.
we talk about what we do from, we really don't talk about it, but we do a lot. Nothing compared to Joe. Joe really looks out for Stefan, and we all kind of communicate together, and because ultimately he is a good guy. I called him a kid. He's not a kid anymore, right?
No.
Joe is on the line. Your take on this, Joe? You took him to the cliffs in Oriskany.
Yeah. We went to breakfast at the Oriskany Diner, 4 of us. The other 2 gentlemen are from Rome, so nobody could give him a ride home. He takes the bus everywhere.
Yes.
So I said, Stefan, sometimes you've taken the bus to Cliffs and met me at the diner. I said, why don't you take the bus home? But I said, if one doesn't come through in the next hour, I said, I will pick you up and bring you home. So I called him when I was leaving Eastern Star. He was still at Cliffs. I said, okay. I said, I'll meet you outside. I'll be there in 2 seconds.
And that's why he was out. And that's why he was outside, not waiting for the girl to come out. He was waiting for Joe.
Well, he was actually, Bill. He was sitting inside, and what happened is there was an Oriskany police officer in at the time, and this woman was chastising him in front of a lot of people. So the police officer just said, "You need to sit at the table and don't talk to anybody."
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't right either. I mean, Stefan, he's an outgoing person.
I know. Yeah.
And he tries to just be polite and friendly. Hi, but whatever. So he comes out and he tells me what had gone on, and then he shows me the post. And we talked last evening, and I said I'm going to try to get that post removed. Well,
by the way, if I can, Joe. By the way, that post went up fast. It went up while she was at the Cliffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's when Stefan gave it to me when he came out to the truck. So again, I reported it to Facebook, and I got a lame duck response this morning that said that does not violate our policy, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's defamation of character.
It is. It absolutely is. And I listen, Joe, we're all of us are the first to rip into Stefan when something happens, and stuff does happen.
Exactly.
But not like this. Yep. He is not a pervert. And while sometimes, he has challenges, and sometimes he makes decisions that may seem awkward and may be awkward. But I have never known him, and I've known Stefan for a long time, to be what is implied here in this Facebook post, and I think it's unfair.
It definitely is, and a couple great examples are he'll go to the New Hartford volleyball, softball. The teams love him. The students love him. He'll go to the Utica College events. They invite him to sit on things like that. So, like you say, he's a nice person.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, Joe, and because you were there for much of it, so I appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Sure. Yep. Right. Thank you, Bill.
Okay. We'll break, and you want to add to any of it?
Not on this topic.
Okay. You have other stuff. I can see in your eyes.
The comments here.
We'll break. Hold tight. We'll come right back at WIBX.
Hurt in a car? Call William Matar. 315-444-4444.
Embarrassed by ugly yellow toe fungus?
Living with toe fungus it's embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off. I hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody.
Introducing Crystal Flush. Crystal Flush is the only FDA-registered 2-in-1 home treatment that attacks your toe fungus from both the inside and out. Crystal Flush's new and different combination system knocks out toe fungus for good. Guaranteed.
Crystal Flush is different. After just a few weeks, my fungus was gone. 100% disappeared. Crystal Flush was the only thing that ever worked. So if you're skeptical because you tried a bunch of other stuff, Crystal Flush is different. This is a game changer.
Crystal Flush is now available without a prescription, but it is not available in stores. Get your risk-free supply today. Go to crystalflush.com. That's CRYSTAL flush.com. Stop being embarrassed by ugly yellow toenails. Go to crystalflush.com or call 800-204-4484.
Megan, why is there a guy in the showroom doing victory lap?
Because he heard about the 2026 Kia K4 LXS.
The one with zero do-it inception?
Yep. And just $328 a month for 36 months.
Okay, what triggered the lap?
Even sales tax included.
That'll do it. I almost joined him.
And it gets 39 miles per gallon highway.
So he's celebrating now and later at the pump.
Exactly.
I respect the cardio. Make that short drive to save.
Go cookie for Kia at Destination Kia. Puppies and babies not included.
Stock number 26F1763. MSRP $24,675. 36 months. 30,000 mile lease. 20 cents per mile over. Zero do-it inception. Zero security deposit. 8.75% sales tax and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure. 720 plus FICO score. EPA rating. Offer expires 4/30/26.
Destination Kia.
Get pumped for summer. Receive an instant rebate of up to $20,000 in clean heat ground source heat pump installation. Call City Suburban today, 315-853-3899 or online at citysuburban.com. That's citysuburban.com.
Hurt in a car? Call William Matar. 315-444-4444.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Start your Sunday with a smarter take on the week that was and the week ahead. It's This Weekend with Gordon Deal, bringing you news analysis, fresh perspectives, and stories that matter most. From business and politics to lifestyle and culture, Gordon Deal keeps you informed and ready for the days ahead. Tune in Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. This Weekend with Gordon Deal, your weekend informed. That's Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, right now, the Encera's Flooring Outlet team is probably the most experienced they have ever been. It's about flooring, and if you're interested in flooring, they have you covered. Jason, Alan, Fran, some of the flooring specialists at Encera's, they have over 100 years combined in flooring experience between the three of them. Sam Rudolph, Encera's store manager, has been in the home improvement industry his entire life. And then there's Sal Encera. And you talk about experience, very experienced. He knows the flooring business like nobody else. So, if you're going to get flooring, why wouldn't you go to a place that's all about flooring? That is Encera's. See why more people buy from the big store. Encera's Flooring Outlet, River Road, Marcy, and encerasflooringoutlet.com. Also, I want to tell you, I was I saw Ricky Z mingling with people. All of them, I believe, probably have purchased Mazdas from him. And it is just the courtesy you get from him before, during, and after, and even way after the sale. That's what I was kind of admiring. That's Ricky Z, and you get great treatment, and it'll put you into the perfect vehicle. I know firsthand. Steve Ponte Mazda, as they wind down their New Year, New Mazda sales event this month, they have just over 20 new 2025 Mazda CX-5s in stock for you to choose from. Take advantage of 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-5s with 0.9% on turbo models. And see the dealership for details. Let's make your deal on a new Mazda. The quote from Ricky Z, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, good morning. And some quick comments Manansky has over there.
Well,
do you want to go down that road, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, no, we'll just move on.
Okay. All right. We're not commenting on the comments. I will later.
I'll just say good morning, Ann, and I hope you're having a good day.
Ann in Rome. In studio right now, I'm trying to not lose my paperwork. In studio right now is Ehor Samco, and he is running for the 119th Assembly seat as a Democrat for the Assembly in New York State against Assemblyman Brian Miller.
122nd, he said.
Oh, it's the 122nd? Sorry. Oh, it is the 122. Hold on. I should know that. Good morning.
Morning.
Ehor, tell me about you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
You got to get tight on that microphone.
Thanks for having me on.
Perfect.
Yeah, good morning. So my name's Ehor. That's not a very common name, so that's actually Ukrainian. I'm actually from Ukraine. I was born there. My family immigrated to the U.S. when I was around 8 years old. We kind of settled down basically in the Mohawk Valley. We've moved around a few states, but majority, I spent most of my life here. I essentially grew up here. So
okay.
Raised in Herkimer essentially. So Herkimer, went to Herkimer High School, Herkimer Community College, and then that time it was actually Utica College, but now Utica University. That's where I went. Got my degrees there, and then stayed in the Valley. I love the Valley. That's where I met my wife, and that's where my wife and I are building a family here. We have 2 boys, and we want to maintain here and make sure that the Valley is something that they like, that they're proud of, and I want to make sure that they raise a family here.
So what made your family come here?
So my dad is, in terms of coming from Ukraine.
Yeah,
so my dad's a priest. So he had the ability to kind of, there was an opening for a church. He went for it, got transferred here, and then got closer to the headquarters of the church. Was at that time, or it is now, is in New Jersey. And then after that, got transferred to Herkimer.
All right. And why the Assembly for you? What? And I realize you want to make it a better life and preserve the Valley and the district for your family, but and specifically, what do you want to accomplish?
So, the state assembly is one of those things where we are basically, you're basically the representative of the district. You're able to, listen to the situations of people we're having and actually implement some of the laws to make people's life easier. Over the past couple of years, our district really, I don't feel it's been represented enough. And, when the opportunity came to be able to, get into the race, be a challenger, I kind of took it. Not something that I really thought that, didn't really think about it for a while, but, when the opportunity comes, you kind of wanted to accept it.
Are there any specific issues that are important to you?
Yes. So I definitely, our utility has been going out of crazy, and that's kind of the one thing that I want to focus is making sure our utilities are specifically more of just the deliveries fees. Those have been ballooning over the last few years.
Yeah.
In most cases, those are usually a lot higher than the actual supply.
I do have to have you get tighter on that microphone because got you now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that better?
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
So more of, utilities have been going out of crazy. And then, joining the assembly and being a junior majority member versus being someone that's, a senior minority member that's been in the assembly for a while, you actually have more leverage. You're part of the party. You're able to at least embody, bring some things into the district, being able to work with the government and actually bringing money towards the district. And the third thing I would say is more of bail reforms. I think that is something that we definitely need to amend and update it a little bit.
So I'm on your website.
Can I just ask, do you think they went too far or did not go far enough
In terms of
the bail reform? Because it was reformed.
It was reformed.
Did they go too far or not far enough?
It could be done better. So it was created to solve a serious issue, but I think now there's just not enough. Judges don't have enough tool sets to be able to actually implement ways to make sure the community is safe.
Okay.
So we're getting a lot of repeat offenders, being released.
That's really a Republican issue. That's something your opponent would be touting.
Well, I think it's an issue for everyone in the district.
Okay. All right.
I don't see it as a party talking point. It's more of what's safe to the community.
If the downstate Democrats are really who pushed the bail reform through.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't live downstate. I live in the.
Well, that would be your party. So
So I kind of want to follow up on that thought. I think a lot of people, Democrat and Republican, would agree with this. I'm on your website here. It's Samco for Assembly.com. It says people upstate are frustrated. Property taxes keep going up. Young people leaving because they cannot afford to stay. Small businesses are struggling under costs they did not create. And the response from our Republican assemblyman has been silence. But the issues you highlight, utility bills going up, bail reforms, those were all enacted by a state government controlled overwhelmingly by Democrats. So I think a lot of people maybe from this district would say, why would we put another Democrat in there if when the Democrats have control, we're getting these things that you even highlight as problems?
They are problems. And, being part of the party doesn't mean you agree with every single talking point. It's essentially your party. You're able to disagree. Some things are great, some are not. But I think those are the issues that need to be focused on. Regardless of party lines, those are the issues that everyone faces. We have a lot of high taxes. Businesses are kind of hard, and one of the things is we also have a lack of housing, and majority of that is there's a lot of red tape. We want to start a project. So I used to work for a company that managed affordable housing in basically all over New York State, and they do constructions as well for they build, develop. But majority of the kind of issues, there's a lot of red tape before once you get the funding to actually build it. They're bogged down to the point of you're kind of creating an issue where it just becomes a problem and it takes time to actually make. So it's it's something that we actually have to solve instead of actually bringing up and talking about it. Actually have some solutions for it.
Again, the red tape thing, and I understand what you're saying about it's bipartisan and it affects everybody, but I think a lot of people would point to the Democrat control in Albany as these hurdles for businesses, creating more red tape, more bureaucracy. So is your point that when Republicans fight these issues, they can't win, but if you're a Democrat, maybe the governor will listen to your perspective on this? I guess I'm confused because typically what you're saying is what a lot of Republicans would say, and they would blame Democrats for that. So they would say, well, why would I put another Democrat in the assembly? Because that party is the one that's kind of creating some of these issues.
For those things, I mean, you just stating it, it's a party talking point, essentially. Yes, but
For which party, though?
I think both parties are using this more as a party, like basically just a divide. I'm not in Albany. I don't live in Albany. I don't live I don't live in the city. I've never lived in the city. So, the mindset of the Democrats there and here is very different. We are more in the rural community. Essentially, if we're able to, bring about viewpoints that they may consider that's more on the right, more of a Republican, it's essentially not. It's more of a issue for what the community faces, what our district faces. So I think that's coming from at least someone that's within the party to actually showcase that and actually I think that's really is beneficial to be able to actually push the point through. So I know it seems it's more, but I don't see it as a party divide. I think it's just a real issue that people are facing.
If I could, an upstate issue versus downstate. A upstate more rural area versus city. there is a difference, right? And Democrats who are downstate are certainly much different than a Democrat upstate, such as Marianne Bodenshaw, for instance,
right,
who was very moderate. All right.
So I share a lot of things with Marianne in that mindset, because we live in an area that's majority of our kind of majority of the people here are Republican. There's a good amount of Democrats as well, but we're not really we're not really going into a position to be in Albany to represent one side. We're going in there to represent every individual who lives here. I've talked to individuals on the right, on the left, and I think people are just really polarized by those two things. Yeah. You shouldn't be in, it's part of governing. You're not governing for one side, you're governing for every single individual that lives in the area. So I think coming in from that perspective gives everyone a voice, and at least have ability to continue governing in the that side.
Ehor Samco. I want to ask one final question, though, about maybe family that still is in Ukraine, and you're watching every day what happens there. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I still have a lot of extended family. So primarily most of my cousins, stuff like that. On my mom's side, I still have a cousin, actually. He was a best man for my wedding. So my wife's also Ukrainian. We actually met in Utica.
Yeah.
I don't know
okay. That's wild.
So we had actually had a wedding there, and he was my best man at the wedding, and he is still MIA for the last 2.5 years.
Wow.
So
I'm sorry to hear that.
The destruction that's been caused is just horrible. So
yeah.
All right. Well, listen. We appreciate it. Interesting. Ehor Samco, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Quick break, and Manaski will update the news. Coming up at WIBX.
At Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, we are dedicated to helping you understand your benefits and how to use them. It's one of the reasons why, for the third straight year, we have been named #1 in customer satisfaction among Medicare Advantage plans in New York, and #1 for ease of doing business by J.D. Power. We were named most trusted, too. We remain committed to giving you high-quality coverage and the best possible Medicare experience. Learn more at medicare.excellusbcbs.com. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Don't overpay for your next mattress. Mattress Express is upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. Bring in any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com.
Our Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Representative Elise Stefanik are standing up for radio listeners like us by supporting legislation to keep AM radio in cars. They know the value of local radio in times of emergency. Now it's time for Congress to finish the job and pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Learn more at dependonam.com. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors. Available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls and Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
Our locally owned and operated small businesses are the heartbeat of our community. The WIBX Industry Aces stand out as leaders in their fields, like Scharf Plumbing and Drain. The Scharf family has been providing plumbing and drain services to the Mohawk Valley for over a century, offering many services, including sewer repair, repiping, water heater repair, and replacement, and more. They're more than plumbers. They're a family dedicated to getting the job done. Support one of these fantastic industry aces today.
We have mostly cloudy skies and 49 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. This news update is brought to you by CSEA. You know, behind every traffic cone is a worker doing a job with a family waiting at home. So slow down, put the phone down, and move over safely. President Trump says he's under no pressure to end the war in Iran. Trump claiming on social media yesterday that, quote, I have all the time in the world, and added, don't rush me. The president extended the ceasefire with Iran earlier this week with no confirmation of when or if the next round of peace talks would take place. Pope Leo is calling for a culture of peace to end the war in Iran. Leo made the comment Thursday during his flight back to Rome following a 4-nation tour of Africa. The Pope told reporters the war has created a chaotic situation and said, quote, I would like to encourage everyone to find responses that come from a culture of peace and not hatred and division, end quote. At least 10 people injured after tornadoes ripped through Oklahoma. Local storm chasers reporting that tornado damage in northern Oklahoma occurred especially near the city of Enid, where a large tornado has leveled homes near Vance Air Force Base. Authorities say search and rescue teams are looking for people trapped in homes and inside of vehicles. A former police officer is under arrest, allegedly plotting a mass shooting in New Orleans. Christopher Gillum faces a charge of terroristic threats. Police say they found a handgun and about 200 rounds of ammunition in his Florida hotel room. Police believe he was planning to target a festival, although it is unclear which. Nike is laying off 1,400 people, approximately. The shoe and sportswear company saying Thursday those job cuts will mostly affect its technology division in North America, Asia, and Europe. The cuts represent about 2% of the company's workforce, which has been restructuring its operations. And The Bachelor is returning for its 30th season. The reality dating show was renewed last year, and on Wednesday, ABC announced it will finally return in 2027. The show was put on hold after the showrunners left the series due to alleged toxic workplace conditions. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:42. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
A little cooler for us here today to finish the business week. Clouds this morning, but they'll break up and give way to sunshine. Low 60s this afternoon. Middle to upper 30s tonight. Clouds in Saturday with a chance of showers, even a few rumbles of thunder. Highs mid part of the 50s. Sunny Sunday, low 60s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies, 49 degrees. It is 8:43.
All right, coming up, we'll speak with Alex Carbone with the Fitness Mill. And what do you have? You have something?
Well, just a comment from Lance here. And Lance, I get it. Let's see. Lance and Leon, our guest, Ehor Samco, who just joined us. He is a Democratic candidate for New York's 122nd Assembly District. That's the district currently represented by Brian Miller. He said, Jeff, I think I get this guy's point. The only state representative that gets anything done in this area is Marianne Buttonshine, of course. He says the rest of them accomplish nothing except getting in photo ops for things that she has done. So, look, I understand the point, and I've heard Republicans say it's great to have Marianne as a Democrat representing us in the Assembly because otherwise, if everyone else in the district is Republican who represents us, then we don't have a voice at the table because Albany is so heavily controlled by Democrats. But I think if you listen to a lot of Ehor's concerns about why he's running, I think they're very valid concerns. I think a lot of people would agree with him. But the reason for those issues, I think if you ask people, they wouldn't say it's because he says here, Republican Assemblyman has been quiet. He's been silenced.
I don't think Brian Miller has been quiet by any means. However,
but the point being,
and I think Brian,
who do you blame for that, though? You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think it's hard to get people to say yes. We need to put you down there to fix it because people are going to say no. We have people with your perspective down there, and this is what we got.
Right. Certainly, bail reform, the reform that we currently have, it's Democrats that are resisting, downstate Democrats that are resisting further change, bringing things back to the center, bringing things back to where Sheriff Mashel and where the DAs and the judges and the prison system, the people who are on the ground have said we need to move this back. This upstate New York is different than what you see in New York City jails and prisons and and the correction system. So all interesting stuff. Yeah.
Just one more if I can add. And the same token, to be fair, I think a lot of people, regardless of party affiliation, would say, you know, it's a good thing when you have a Democrat running for office who says, by the way, all these things that the Democrats have done, we need to get in there and fix them.
Okay, fair enough. River Hills Properties continues to invest in upstate New York. It is all about the services that are provided. When you sign up with River Hills, you know your listing agent will be there every time the house is shown. You know that they go above and beyond. They're at every meeting, the appraisal, the inspection, all the way to the closing. They are there for you. And then there's the book, 40 to 100 pages. That's basically a manual for the home. So much more than you get just standard. It's that VIP service and treatment that you get from River Hills. They have offices in Barneveld and Little Falls, in Rome, in Newport, and, of course, in sunny Florida. If you're considering the snowbird concept, where maybe you're living part-time down there and up here. It's River Hills Properties. Nobody sells homes like River Hills.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
Veterans, you and your family know all too well the many hardships that challenge your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. The Good News Foundation invites you to a free fellowship group of veterans. This get-together is run by retired Army Chief Warrant Officer 4 Richard Smith, the author of Camouflage Christian. Check out Veterans for Worship the third Wednesday of the month from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
Contractors and landscapers, be able to take on more jobs and get your current projects done with Warner Sales and Service. Whether it's the tough lifting and digging or the more precise work with attachments, Warner Sales and Service has the Bobcat rental to make sure your projects get done. Tough work demands tough equipment, so stop in today at Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and at WarnerSS.com.
Where quality still counts at Warner's.
Hey, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. And we just had heard yesterday from Dr. Cheryl Mattern, who is new to the Falcon Clinic. And she came, one of the reasons she said that she is at the Falcon Clinic is there is not there are not restrictions that are placed on her as a physician, that she can schedule an appointment that is a half an hour or 45 minutes. And they don't load up and overbook to the point where you come in for a 1 o'clock and you don't get in until 3:30. That does not happen at the Falcon Clinic. They're able to spend the time with the patient because that's what, in their belief, and this is I don't know, maybe going out on a limb and it's old-fashioned, but that's what's best for the patient. Isn't that refreshing? That's the Falcon Clinic. Several doctors under one roof, and Washington Mills. The Falcon Clinic, Dr. Zielinski, Shemaleski, Dr. Kuzminski, and now Dr. Cheryl Mattern at the Falcon Clinic. Make an appointment, and she says she can get you in within a week right now, as she is new to the Falcon Clinic. 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, all week long we've been doing the free money question all week long. And in that free money question, we've been giving people an opportunity to get into the running for Jim Breuer tickets. Jim Breuer, comedian, one of the funniest you'll ever see, is performing at the Stanley Theater on Sunday night. And tickets available at Ticketmaster.com or at the Stanley box office. Now, we have 5 people who have gotten into this. Jeff, do you want to do the poll? I'm mixing them up the best that I can.
Okay.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In no particular order.
All right, we're going to go with...
grab whatever you want.
This one here.
This name will win tickets to see Jim Breuer on Sunday night.
Number 5, Billy in Utica.
It's Billy in Utica.
Is that the guy who won today?
We just had today. Won $150 plus the tickets. How about that? So, Billy, give Davey a call, and we'll hook you up for Sunday night at the Stanley Theater. All right, in studio right now is Alex Carbone from the Fitness Mill. Alex, good morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. And let's talk about what you have going on.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. This is great.
Appreciate
Love
it.
to be back involved.
Glad we could finally arrange it.
Yes, back involved in the community and talking on air and stuff live. So this is great. Just a moment to talk a little bit about what's going on. My daughters and I, Ava, Angela, and Ariana, bought back the Fitness Mill. So I wanted to get on and talk a little bit about that. Stems way back from in 1993 when Al Calogero opened the Fitness Mill, right? He started it from scratch. And as the story goes is, throughout the years, the Fitness Mill was really the mecca of all fitness facilities in this area. And during the course of time and how busy he was and equipment starts to take its toll on financial stress. And so Al figured he'd had his legacy come to kind of an end, and he and I sat down and talked. And I ended up buying the Fitness Mill back in 2017. And since then, it's been a great journey. I've learned a lot in the car business about buying a business and then keeping it in its existing location and then moving on to a better facility, which is what we did. So we were located in New York Mills, and I took over in 2017, and then I started working on the new project, the Live It Downtown building, which is on Oriskany Street, 1707 Oriskany Street in West Utica. Built a brand new building and put the brand new gym inside with 1/8 of a mile track and steam room, sauna, and the men's and women's locker facilities. And in 2023, my health took a toll. I couldn't operate it anymore at full capacity, so I ended up selling the gym. And by the grace of God, my health is restored, and I had the opportunity to buy the gym back with my 3 daughters to carry on a family legacy. So that is, it's remarkable.
What health problem did you go through?
So I'm an alcoholic, and I'm proud to say that I'm in recovery. And, throughout the course of my career, a lot of people are not aware of that because of my public exposure and my exposure in the community. Yeah. But, it's something that I dealt with my whole life since I was 9 years old. I've got a great testimony, and I'm very proud to share it, that finally at the age of just turning 51, I had gone to a rehab facility and got myself back on track. I met Jesus himself. I had a vision of Jesus, and he saved my life. And since then, I've been had no urges for alcohol, been on recovery, and just life is just it's just a look at all the blessings in my life now.
Yeah.
So that's
congratulations.
That's my health issue.
And to be able to talk about it.
I love speaking about it, because if I can help one person by speaking about it, and while I'm on the air, I might as well say, feel free to contact me if you ever have any questions about recovery, and if you feel as if you want to recover in your own life and join me in a great life, and break free from the chains that are holding you down.
And coming back and so. And is that the reason that you sold,
It is.
So you got out of the fitness mill?
I did,
because of your
alcoholism.
addiction.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't operate at full capacity.
Yeah,
alcohol took over my life. We sold the car business back in 2016, and I stayed a few years after that, and went on to do my own thing. But with so much idle time and having this struggle in my life, it just took a hold of my life. My physical being was just not able to function. And, so like I said, I had a lot of support in the background, and I took that leap of faith to go to a rehab. Never thought I ever would. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
God led me there, and I met Jesus in the rehab.
Are there people that you have had to recreate a relationship with, or some that maybe you lost?
Absolutely.
Haven't been
Absolutely.
restored.
I've damaged relationships along the way with my family, with my closest family, which I, leave that in God's hands to guide me in the right way. I've had my share of battles with my kids, and this is why this is so precious to me, is that, alcohol definitely drove a wall in between my children and my relationship throughout the course of life, going through a divorce with their mother. And this is something that God put in my lap to say, hey, look, you're doing well on your own. Now this is a perfect opportunity for you to rekindle a great relationship with your kids.
Well, I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Congratulations,
it's a great testimony.
You seem really happy and sincere, and it's.
Listen, I feel great. Yeah, my head is clear, and
there are many that never get to where you are. Sadly,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm very vocal about it, and even though this really wasn't the point of the conversation, this is where God's taking us, you know. So I'm very vocal about it, and I really encourage everybody who feels that their life is in the hands of alcohol to call me, and I could just give you the blueprint, and you have to do the work, and you have to be ready.
I do not want to cut you short, but
fine.
at 9 o'clock, actually at 8:59 and 50 seconds, they take it from us, and we're done.
Okay.
So I know you want to talk about the fitness mill, but I appreciate so much that you've opened up about this.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Things you have going on, we have a minute and a half.
Okay. So what I have going on is the fitness mill. I'm opening a laundromat right inside of the same building, 1707 Oriskany Street West. It's called Done Right Laundry Center. It's more than just a laundry center. We have 70 brand new units. We have a coin exchange. We have a photo booth. We have children's play area, a Starbucks coffee kiosk.
Wow.
I have also a billboard on the property called Faith Outdoor. That we're doing very well with. So I urge everybody to contact me through Facebook or however you can to get your spot on the billboard. I have the Fitness Mill gym with my kids, and I have Live It Downtown, which is my beautiful building. And you think back of what God did for me to build that building. I'm finally clear-minded to absorb everything you've given to me and to make it work to max capacity. So I'm very blessed. Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, I was
really
good for you, man. I was just looking up at the clock, seeing you did it in plenty
you
of time.
You did it very well, and you gave us 30, 40 seconds to wrap it up.
I got a little practice in my
you do. You've done a few of these.
Did you do commercials before? No,
I think so.
I've heard it.
I think I did them with you.
You've come a long way since we named you. We named you Utica, Mohawk Valley's most sexiest man. I think you beat out several.
Yeah, I was 22. I think at the time.
I think you were. You were a young guy.
Yeah, I was young. That was fun.
Pretty wild. Well, congratulations.
Thank you both for having me on the show. It's an honor.
And again for opening up and being there if other people need some help. So
thank
good
you.
stuff. All right, listen, as we said, when it hits 8:59 and 50 seconds. They just cut me off, which it's about to do right.
From the WB Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
The ball is in Iran's court. I'm CJ Papa, Fox News. That is part of the message this morning at the Pentagon from War Secretary Pete Hegseth.
In this new phase, as Iran has an important choice, a chance to make a deal, a good deal, a wise deal.
As Secretary reports, so far 34 ships have been turned around in the Strait of Hormuz. America's top General Dan Kane, joining the Secretary, says they are ready to use more firepower.
Today marks 55 days since the President of the United States ordered major combat operations against Iran. Today and this morning, the Joint Force remains postured and prepared to recommence major combat operations on the order of the President.
Now, President Trump contends U.S. military action has caused massive problems for Iran.
We've created a real mess for them.
And now new military might is at the disposal of the commander-in-chief.
CENTCOM says the U.S. Navy now has 3 aircraft carriers here in the Middle East region. The USS George H.W. Bush has arrived in the Indian Ocean. Already here, the USS Gerald Ford and Abraham Lincoln. This is the first time 3 aircraft carriers have been in the regions since 2003, leading up to the invasion in Iraq. Now, CENTCOM says the United States has now ordered 33 vessels to turn around back towards Iran under the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports. Most of these ships are oil tankers. Fox's Lauren Simonetti reports at least 9 Iranian tankers full of millions of barrels of oil are just sitting, unable to sell, unable to get past the American blockade.
Fox's Matt Finn in Dubai. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu revealing for the first time he underwent treatment